I went round to where the subdivision was the other day, and knocked on the door of what I considered to be probably the highest risk neighbour for our approval. I walked up the driveway and said, "Hi, my name's Jared. My business partner and I bought the site behind you and I'd like to have a chat to you about what we're planning there." He was hostile, not quite aggressive, he was still polite, but he was not pleased to have a chat to me, and he had his back up to start with. It was really interesting, and yeah, luckily I'd kind of thought about it before I went in there. I was a bit prepared for that sort of reaction, I guess. And he got his wife involved, and I got to meet his wife, and turns out they're actually really lovely people. They really love where they live. All they wanted was not to have someone build right on their back fence looking straight down into their backyard, because they're just over the edge of the subdivision, and their roof, peak of their roof, is basically ground level for the block behind, because it's quite a steep chunk there. But because the house that is the original part of the site doesn't really have a backyard, we've cut probably 250 square meters of land off right behind their property, off what could be subdivision blocks, but kept it with the house. It's already landscaped like it's part of the house, garden anyway, and most of the people who we've got interested in the property are looking at it for family purposes, and a couple of them for nice retirement places where families can come and visit and the grandkids can come and stay and all that sort of stuff. And there's a really nice little garden studio out there. Not the most legal structure in the world, but you know, it's mobile, so it kind of gets through the loophole a little bit. And yeah, it's quite a nice little space. You can chuck a trampoline out there, have a bit of a run around. So yeah, they were really pleased to hear that basically status quo would be maintained in their backyard. And funny thing was, 2 or 3 days later, I dropped around a copy of the plan for them to have a look at, and they showed their daughter. And their daughter's like, "Wow, those blocks look really good. I'd be really, really keen." And so he rang me up and said, "When you're getting close to selling and you're thinking about selling and you got some prices for these blocks, give him a call first. And he'd like his daughter to be considered for one of the blocks," which is kind of cool. And he'd said really openly when I was talking to him, "I'm ready to fight this. I know I'll lose, but I'll fight it anyway." And by the end of the conversation, he was like, "Oh, look, it sounds like a really good development, really happy for you, really glad it's going to be developed well." He was on our side. So, you know, it was a good conversation. And I'm going to work my way through the rest of the neighbours, because we've got about 9 adjoining sites, 8 or 9. And so I'm going to work my way through all of them and talk to them all about it. But he was the real sticking point for me. The others are getting, you know, free, sealed road access to their driveways. They're getting, you know, increased values and all sorts of other good stuff. He was the only one that was really probably not going to get a lot of positivity out of it. Anyway, that's my experience for this week.